We're just ordinary people living ordinary lives until we see someone on TV win a $25,000 prize. Come on down. I'll play any game for 10 seconds of fame. Come on down. I'll make a deal, just let me spin the wheel. Come on down. To win $1 million, all you need is a little luck and thorough knowledge of multiple disparate trivial subjects.
All right, welcome to an all-new episode of Come On Down, the game show podcast hosted by me, John Baker.
And me, Jonathan Motney.
Today we're going to be talking about a very special TV show.
Wow, dude, you sound like a frickin' square when you say it like that.
Whoa, one that might reside in Hollywood,
Florida.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just an old person. Hollywood Square is what we're going to be talking about today. The most shape-based game show that we've done so far.
I don't know, Make a Deal has a lot of rectangles in it.
Is that in the name? Is it called Let's Make a Rectangle?
I would love to make a rectangle. I would crush that game.
Deal or Square Deal? It's about Teddy Roosevelt's proposals.
Right.
But first, before we hop into Hollywood Squares, we've got a sponsor that, I just read the title of it, and I'm curious, I guess.
You should be.
The best word I could use.
Well, we're about to be less curious because we're going to start it.
All right. Dude.
Yeah.
I got into a tussle with a coworker yesterday. Now it's awkward.
Well, you're in luck because our sponsor today specializes in eliminating annoying coworkers, argumentative spouses, and just general rude people.
What, do they kill them or something?
That's exactly right. The friendly, deadly hitman will send out a personable and deadly hitman to remove that annoying coworker forever. And they'll do it with a big smile on their face.
I'm looking at their website now. It looks like you can even personalize your order with type of removal and even a final phrase whispered by your hitman into the ear of the target.
How cool is that? What are some of the phrases you can order?
Hasta la vista, baby. This is what you get for eating my lunch, Sharon. Ba with da ba, da bang, diggy, diggy, said the boogie, said up, jump the boogie. Oh, so just, I didn't know. I thought there was going to be maybe some twists, but it's just the Kid Rock lyrics.
It's just the Kid Rock, yeah.
The Kid Rock?
Kid Rock lyrics.
Kid Rock lyrics. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Hey.
Crank that soldier boy.
Mm-hmm.
Say hello to Jesus for me.
Hi.
Say hello to Allah for me.
Okay.
Say hello to Vishnu for me.
Okay.
Say hello to Yahweh for me.
So inclusive.
You can even make a custom one.
Oh, yeah? Which phrase would you create for yours?
Say hello to my grandfather for me.
That's sweet.
No, he's not dead. I just thought, like, I don't talk to him enough.
Okay, so before the hitman kills them, you want this person to
if he
find
could
who your grandfather is, and then reach out to him, and talk to him.
Yeah, just check in.
Okay, and then the hitman can conclude the sale.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, go about your business afterwards.
Go about your business.
But I just want to make sure Gramps is okay.
That's very nice of you. Come On Down listeners get a 10% discount on their first order and 2 minutes free of their live stream upgrade. Watch the final moments of the target's life easily from your computer or smartphone.
The friendly, deadly hitmen. We make problems disappear with a smile. And knife, gun, or poison. Wow. The friendly, deadly hitmen.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If I'm going to be murdered by a hitman, I would like to see a nice smile as the last thing I see.
I would like him to check in on my grandfather first.
That is a very specific,
He goes on with what he's going to do. I mean, if I'm paying him already.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So, hey man, I've got a quick confession to make.
Oh no.
I do not have any living grandfathers.
Wow. So you
I'm
did
sorry,
want him to die and go say hi to your dead grandfather.
I'm sorry I misled the people. I just thought it would be better for the advertising. I thought...
To lie? You thought it'd be cool to lie for the advertising?
I mean, I thought that's kind of what advertising does.
I work so hard to get these sponsors locked down, and you think it's funny to just lie.
I don't know. The sponsors, they just get really lazy sometimes, and they just put Baker Improv.
I just got an email
there
from the sponsor, and they have pulled their sponsorship.
They're listening to this live?
They have pulled their sponsorship.
Shit. All right, I guess that's 38 out of 38 sponsorships pulled so far. Damn it. All right, today we're going to be talking about Hollywood Squares.
Yes.
This is a game show that's old, that I think there was a time period where it was also relevant to us. Or it was around in a period that we might have watched it. I know I did. But it started well before us. 20 years before we started. In the year 1966.
Wow.
On NBC. Actually, they did a pilot in 65, and then in 1966 it began airing on NBC.
National Board Broadband Company.
Exactly. They were way ahead of the game.
Way ahead of the game.
They were just future-proofed real well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hosted by Peter Marshall. Well, you know,
kind of two first names.
Well, interesting thing about Peter Marshall, not his real name. This, this Hollywood stage name thing.
Of course.
I feel like it was much more popular in the past. I mean, still you've got like Lady Gaga and those sorts of people around.
Billie Eilish.
No, I think that's her name.
Her name is Billie Eilish.
Yeah, I think so.
Yikes.
And I don't know
Yikes.
for a fact, but I think so.
I mean, honestly, it sounds like... But her parents are like Hollywood types, so I think that Hollywood types think that they should give their kids stage names because they're like,
they
why
just,
change your name?
From birth, they just give them a stage
Right.
name. Okay, that's smart, actually.
I know.
I'm going to do that.
Can you imagine
with my
like
dog?
calling AT&T like customer service line and someone picks up and they're like, "Hi, I'm Billie Eilish. How can I help you?"
Well, I just feel it would be weird if they told me their full name in the first place.
You don't get... I like to get the customer service full name so I know exactly who I'm talking to.
Because usually it's somebody that can't speak English at all, and they're like, they tell me that their name is Chad or something, and I don't believe that.
Okay, so she could say, "I'm Billie English."
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Okay.
What's her name here?
Billie Eilish Pirate Baird O'Connell.
Okay, never mind. Let's move on.
What
I can't
the
handle
fuck?
that. I can't handle that right now.
Pirate Baird. I would have just called myself Pirate Baird.
Jesus Christ. So she has a brother named Phineas, who's her producer. What's his name? Like fucking Phineas Captain
Phineas
Jack
Gage?
Sparrow
Phineas.
McGuire. I don't know, just some other Irish
I have no idea how
name.
to spell Phineas, so I spelled it PH. Here we go.
You found him? Phineas Eilish? He's, I don't know, you just got the Billy Ray Cyrus Wikipedia page for some reason.
The fuck?
Anyway, Peter Marshall was not his real name. In fact, his real name, and you might understand why he changed his name after
Was it Poop
learning.
McGee?
Worse. It was Ralph Pierre Lecoq.
Ralph. So his name was Ralph Lecoq.
Ralph Lecoq.
Okay.
So he took on Marshall as his stage last name and then changed Pierre to Peter, a more anglicized version
Right.
of Pierre. Went with Peter Marshall. He's still alive. He's real old. He's 95 years old right
Oh my
now.
gosh.
Which big ups to Peter if you're listening to this, or my boy Ralph, as I like to call you. He's so old.
How old is he?
That he fought in World War II. So
Against America?
yeah, I mean his name was Pierre Lecoq.
Oh my god.
It sounds like a villain.
It does.
He graduated high school in 1944. Got sent overseas, to fight them Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out we got over there, he was just so entertaining. They made him a DJ.
A DJ.
Yes.
Okay, so like when you see Civil War photos and there's a drummer next to the general,
Right.
It's a DJ
Exactly.
in World War II.
In
Okay.
World War II, it's a DJ. He was sent to Italy to be a DJ on Army radio.
What an amazing turn of events for
Like
somebody.
a Good Morning Vietnam situation, but
Yeah.
World War II. They actually had people that were members of the military that you're like, you're not so much on the fighting. You're not so much on the climbing out of trenches and shooting people with machine guns. I don't really
Yeah.
see that benefiting us as a country, as a civilization, very much. You do got some good zingers, though.
So do you think that when he went in to talk to a recruiter, he did like a monologue audition?
He did have to do a monologue.
So they're like, I don't think you're not here to fight, are you, bud?
Yeah, he had to do a comedic monologue, a dramatic monologue, and a song.
Okay.
And yeah, so he was sent over to fight for a little bit, then ended up in Italy DJing until 1946.
What an amazing story.
He came back home. Did some more. He was part of a comedy duo that kind of toured around, did some stuff, did some Broadway and things of that nature. Went over to London, did some of the West End, yada, yada, yada. Wow. Wasn't getting much steady work in Hollywood. But
because he was a Nazi.
Right. Well, no, that was cool at that point.
Well,
the war was over.
I guess there were a lot of movies made about World War II, so he would always be typecast.
Exactly. So he one of his kind of show business buddies recommended that he should try and get this hosting gig for Hollywood Squares, and he wasn't really interested, but one of his comedic rivals was
Carrot Top.
Interested. Yeah, it was Carrot Top. Was interested. And so he was like, fuck that guy, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And so he got the job. And Peter Marshall hosted, Hollywood Squares from its inception. The way the game worked.
Hated that movie.
Inception?
Mm-hmm.
What would you hate about it?
I had just gotten a shot in my eye, so then I went to go watch it. You were there. We watched it together.
Yeah. Why'd you get a shot in your eye? You had a loose dangling participle in your eye?
No, I had there was a blood vessel in there that kind of popped. Anybody who's had macular degeneration, big ups to my Mac heads.
Is that what you guys call yourselves?
Yeah, Mac heads.
On the forums?
Macular degeneration, homies. It was too long.
Okay.
And I had to get a protein shot to seal up the seeping, the weeping liquid that was going into my eye.
You were just crying all the time. Why didn't you just eat some steak or something if you just needed protein?
Well, what I did is I had to baby bird chewed up steak into my eye.
Oh, what? You had to chew it and then drop it in there?
Right, but that wasn't working. It wasn't enough.
Okay.
It wasn't penetrating the actual layers of my eye.
Got it.
And so a very nice lady named Dr. Coors poured beer into my eye, and that didn't work. So then she finally gave me the shot.
Did the mountains turn blue before she gave you the shot? The mountains were
blue, yes.
Wow. So Hollywood Squares is a glorified game of tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
So there are 9 celebrities on each episode, and they are arranged Brady Bunch style in 3 rows of 3. There are 2 regular person contestants.
Regular person?
Yes, like a Mac head or something.
A Mac head.
There are 2 of them competing in this game, and the way it works is they alternate turns. They choose a celebrity on the board. That celebrity is asked a trivia question. They provide their answer, and the contestant decides whether to agree or disagree with that answer. Mm-hmm. If they are correct and they agree, they get the space. If they're incorrect and they disagree, they get the space. Otherwise, if they miss it, the other contestant gets the space. Generally, it was a man versus a woman.
Wow.
The man was the X, and the woman was the O. And they might call them Mr. X or Mrs. Circle.
Mrs. Circle?
Mrs. Circle.
That's the Mrs. Doubtfire prequel.
That's my stage name.
Mrs. Circle.
So they played until somebody got a tic-tac-toe, obviously.
That's how you would win the game.
Or in the event that, they call it a cats game. You remember that term?
Yeah, that's when you're playing Google. You can Google tic-tac-toe, and you play Google, and you just can't seem to win. You don't know why. So you just keep getting cats games over and over and over. And then, you can't beat a stupid machine.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be a computer at tic-tac-toe, but yeah, that's just a draw, a cats game. Nobody won. But
Why is it called Cats Game?
I don't know.
Wow, I thought you did research.
Well, I didn't do research on tic-tac-toe.
Well,
I did
that's what this
research on
entire
Hollywood
show
sports.
is about.
Well, because there are no cats games on this show, because if nobody gets a tic-tac-toe, whoever is the first to get 5 total spaces also wins the game.
Okay. So I found out why it's called a Cats
Why
Game.
is it called a cats game?
Comes from the concept that a cat cannot catch its own tail, just like a player in tic-tac-toe cannot win a game that is already tied.
Whoever invented that, I feel like that's a huge stretch. Like, imagine you're playing tic-tac-toe.
Okay, hold on. Let me get into character.
Like, it's a new concept. Somebody just invented tic-tac-toe,
Okay,
right?
got it.
And he's like, hey, look at this game. Let's play it. And you're like, okay.
Sure.
And you each keep blocking each other's moves.
Right.
And then it gets to the end. There's no spaces left. Nobody has a tic-tac-toe. Mm-hmm. And they go, oh, well, it's a cats game. And you go, wait, what? And they go, because nobody can win. It's a cats game. And you go, yeah. But why?
Yeah, why cats?
Why cats? And they go, well, just like a cat can't catch its own tail.
Right.
I can't win this game right now by catching the
The
tic-tac-toe.
tail. Yeah.
Would you just say, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Let's call it a cats game from now on.
I mean, that's how it happened. That's not how I would do it. No, I would say, next time we play games, let's not do LSD. Because you are clearly out of your fucking mind right now.
That's a monkey's game.
And why? Oh, because
just like a monkey flings its own shit.
Yeah.
Nobody can win this game.
You know how like monkeys will rip off people's faces if they go wild? Mm-hmm. So nobody wins in that situation.
Right.
Monkey can't really do anything with a human nose.
That's true.
And a human without a nose can't smell the
Might
roses
as well
anymore.
kill itself.
Might as well kill itself. Right.
You said it. So, I mean, that's the game. They would play best 2 out of 3. Whoever won 2 games first would win. And then they're the defending champion. And that's the game.
It's so simple.
A couple $100, you'd win.
I thought I saw some with thousands. Was that later in the 70s?
That was maybe later, but also there was the secret square game. And so sometimes when they put the board up, it would be a secret square.
Okay.
And one of the celebrities on the board, if they were selected and you got it correct, you would win a prize. So sometimes it would be a cash prize. Sometimes it would be like a ski trip. Sometimes it would be a car, things like that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the alternative way to win. So like sometimes, like I've watched episodes where there were 2 secret games, and each person won one of those, and so then at the end, Peter Marshall was like, "Yeah, this guy won, but you also got like a couple $1,000s worth of stuff over it, so everybody kind of won this game. Cool."
Thanks, Lecoq.
Yeah. So that is the game. There were celebrities on this game.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of the big pull of it. It wasn't so much a game show as it was an attempt to be a comedy show and showcase for celebrities.
Yes.
That was very transparently what the goal of the show was, to the point where a lot of it was scripted.
No.
Yeah.
The jokes and stuff?
Yeah, so they had a writing team
Oh.
that obviously would know the questions in advance, and before the tapings, they would kind of brief the celebrities.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't there like a little message?
Yeah,
at the-
because they didn't tell them the questions,
Okay.
but they would say like, hey, there's a question about Henry VIII. Maybe say something like this when you get the question.
Oh, my gosh.
And so a lot of the zingers were pre-written, and they would also give them bluff answers. Like if the question was difficult or something like that, they would say, here's a wrong answer. If you don't know the answer, like here's an answer that's kind of close to the right answer. So they might believe you if you say this.
Wow.
Sometimes they weren't given a bluff answer for a question and they didn't know the question and they didn't feel like they could plausibly come up with a bluff on the spot. And in those situations, they would just say, I don't know. And at that point, Peter Marshall would say to the contestant, do you just want to answer it yourself? And if they didn't know, they would say no. And then they would just ask the celebrity a different question.
Okay.
So it was an interestingly set up game where they're just trying to get people to make jokes, basically.
Yeah.
And I get it, because with a lot of these celebrity-based game shows, that's what the entertainment value is seeing celebrities do and say funny stuff.
Yeah, nobody cares what a celebrity knows or doesn't know.
Also, I wonder to what extent it was an ego thing. Like, if I'm Joan Rivers, let's say,
Okay.
she was a frequent celebrity guest on the show, and I'm good at acting and making jokes and stuff, but I don't know much about the kings of England or something like that, and I don't want to seem stupid. So give me some info in advance, or give me a good fake answer in advance at least, so I don't seem like I know nothing about these questions that you're asking me, even though I know nothing about them.
You know nothing.
Right. Like, don't you think like celebrities are very egocentric? So that
For
might be
sure.
A big part of it.
Well, also, I think that if you're a celebrity long enough, especially an actor, you kind of lean on scripts. That's your whole career, is having
Right.
things scripted. So there's not a lot of I don't knows or I pass, skip.
Yeah. So, and there were a lot of regulars where they would target types of questions at them. So there were some people that kind of were well known as a history buff or something like that, and so they would almost always ask that person history questions, or somebody who's known for like doing a lot of like Shakespeare play type stuff, like they would ask Shakespeare questions to that person. So
you just don't. So they're just doing everything in their power to not make these celebrities look foolish.
yeah. Well, the problem though is like, as the contestant, like if Kenneth Branagh is one of the guys up there and they're asking him a Shakespeare question and I'm the contestant on the show, I'm just gonna have to agree with him no matter what he says, for sure. But
at that point, you can take his tone into account, based on how he answers it.
Yeah, but I mean, they've also got the bluff answers, so
Yeah.
they could be faking you out.
That's mean.
But that's what the whole show was.
Do you not want to try and help me win money? What was his name? Kings of Leon?
Kenneth Branagh? Yeah, Kings of Leon. Uh-huh. Like the beloved actor and director Kenneth Branagh.
Branagh, yeah.
What's your favorite
Branagh?
Kenneth Branagh?
What's my favorite Kenneth Branagh?
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh what?
Piece of work.
Piece of work?
Yes.
Casino Royale.
Okay. I'm not going to.
I totally hope he's in Casino Royale.
He's not.
How do you spell his name? I found it.
Okay.
Northern Irish actor.
He's done a lot of Shakespeare stuff. He's most recently did Murder on the Orient Express, I believe.
Okay.
He's about to do Death on the Nile as well. Agatha Christie novels, adaptations.
Okay. Got it.
He's Poirot in those. He also directed, I believe, Thor.
Not Ragnarok.
No, that was Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
The first Thor. Maybe the second also, but definitely the first Thor. He's
Damn it, no James Bond.
no James Bond. What a surprise that he didn't direct a James Bond movie.
I mean, you never know.
That was the first one with Daniel Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Casino Royale.
When there was poker in it.
Yes, also features my future wife.
You have a current wife.
Right. This is my future wife, Ava Green.
So what situation has to occur in which your current wife is out of the picture and your future
there's
wife...
so many situations in which that could occur.
Oh my God, are
Just
you fantasizing
just
about
ask
it?
her. No, my wife is.
Okay.
So some of the frequent or semi-regular celebrities of the time, where it would be like people who were on, the Dick Van Dyke Show and things like that. Mm-hmm. Joan Rivers, as I mentioned, was on it semi-frequently. Buddy Hackett, Florence Henderson of...
Florence and the Machine?
Yeah, that's who Florence Henderson is.
I'm going to do so many indie band.
See, Florence Henderson is dead. That's a shame.
Oh, no.
She played Mrs. Brady, if you'll recall, on the Brady Bunch, which also had a bunch of squares. I wonder if she always sat in the same square of where she was on the Brady Bunch.
So she was the mom.
Right.
Let's find out.
How the Brady Bunch logo was set up.
Brady Bunch she's at the top, I believe.
She's top middle.
That's the mom.
Yeah, so I wonder if she sat top middle on Hollywood Squares. That would be a cool little nod.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey guys, 1960s, if you're listening, make sure that Florence Henderson is top middle on Hollywood Squares, just like she is on the Brady Bunch.
Right.
Vincent Price was another somewhat regular. He did a lot of those B horror movie type, Dracula type of things. He also, you see this parodied a lot, like in Fright Night, where there's that like, welcome to the ghouling hour. Tonight's creature feature is blah, 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 blah. And, that sort of thing where they introduce the bad B horror movie.
Yep.
He had that whole Vincent Price hour thing going on back in the day.
It's like Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, exactly. He was kind of the original version of that.
Cool.
Where he was just kind of, or like, we've talked before about like Vampirella and
when did we talk about Vampirella?
I don't remember. There was an episode, for some reason, we talked about... because of... you remember those two weird
Hollywood
girls?
Elevator.
Yeah, Elevator.
Okay.
Yeah. Elevator was the game show. Yeah, so those were kind of... Demond Wilson, who he was on... what's the show with Red Fox?
Lady and the Tramp.
Sanford and Son, Jesus. So he would, they would ask him like a lot of stereotypical black questions.
Oh no!
And then he would always like give an offended response. That was kind of his bit. Was they make a stereotypical joke and he gets upset about it.
It's pretty great,
and that's a solid bit. So yeah, there was a lot of that sort of stuff going on. A lot of you knew what you were getting from some of these people. I saw Dolly Parton on an episode that I watched.
I did too, yeah. She was not good.
No, she wasn't great. But she writes some great songs.
That's true.
Which is more of her thing than answering trivia questions. So I'll give her a pass, I guess.
Would you consider the Blair Witch Project a B horror movie?
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
It's a low budget independent horror movie.
Yeah.
But are you looking at a list of best B horror movies?
Yeah.
Okay. What's number one?
Cannibal Holocaust.
I've heard of it. It sounds horrifying and disgusting. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it does sound gross. A Nightmare on Elm Street?
No, that's not a B horror. This is a
IMDb.
Because anybody can make a list of whatever the hell on IMDb. Nightmare on Elm Street is not. I mean, it's Johnny Depp was in it. Hello. I mean, that doesn't preclude it from being a B movie, but it wasn't a B movie at all. It was just a low budget horror movie. There's a difference. Anyway. Yeah, a lot of the zingers were scripted for these people, which is kind of a bummer to know.
It is, because nothing is scripted on this show. We don't write any jokes down. We do those from the dome. We're basically like rappers.
Except for all these notes I have right here.
Yeah, but those are facts from the show. We don't want to just sit here and do, hee-hees and ha-has for a straight hour.
So... the most prestigious spot on the board, what do you think it would be?
Prestigious in what? In terms of...
the best place to sit.
The best place to sit.
Yeah, if you're a celebrity.
Middle.
Center square, baby.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Center square. Yeah, later on, it would be Whoopi Goldberg. But for most of this run, it was Paul Lynde.
Okay.
What do you know about Paul Lynde?
I know that the gentleman that helped me secure a loan for my home was named Lynn, and he called himself Lynn the Lender.
I hate that. I would not have used
I
him.
loved it
I wouldn't
so
have
much.
used
It was
him.
the only reason we went with him. And he gave us a 17% interest rate. But we
Hey, that's solid.
loved his name.
Yeah, I think he could have given me a 0% interest rate, and I would have said, "I'm not comfortable with you."
That's what I know about Lynn.
That's why you get a good deal from him, because he does that, and most people are just like, "All right, thanks, but no thanks." So he was in a lot of stuff. He was in a lot of Broadway stuff as well. He was in Bye Bye Birdie, I think the movie version. He was Uncle Arthur on Bewitched. Wiggling my nose around a little bit over here. I'm not good at nose wiggling, but he was frequently the center square. He was obviously picked the most because that's a strategically advantageous.
Because he was
place.
a white man. That's why he was picked the most. Did he have a fun bit where he got offended?
No,
No, he didn't.
he was gay.
Well, that's a little bit of a saving grace.
Thank God for that.
Thank God for that.
I was gonna be really upset if he wasn't.
if he
gay.
wasn't at least gay.
Yeah, at least bi, but gay helps
Right.
definitely more.
Yeah.
Than bi. So he was quite good at this. He received, I think, 3 or 4 Emmy nominations for being the center square on
What do you?
Hollywood
Why
Squares.
is he getting an Emmy? Give the writer the nomination.
Because maybe he also improv'd a lot of it himself.
And what you're just saying this out of nowhere? We know for a fact the show was scripted, and you're saying, well, maybe he.
Okay,
improved.
so what's his name? The old British guy, Anthony Hopkins.
Okay.
He just won Best Actor.
Sure.
So your point is he shouldn't have won that. The writer that wrote the words that he said should have won Best Actor.
Exactly.
Okay.
I would have rather seen the writer perform than Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, he's just old. Yeah, so he got a few Emmy nominations for us. He was quite well liked. Mm-hmm. At one point, actually, he left the show kind of later in its run in the late 70s, and the ratings kind of dropped off. And the producers got him to come back by giving him a co-starring credit. So it was co-starring Peter Marshall and Paul Lynde.
Wow. That's all it took? We'll put your name with co-star in front of it?
Remember how we were talking about how these people are kind of egomaniacal?
Yeah.
Yes. The answer is yes. We'll put your name in headlights. That's what they want to see. So yeah, he often, much like we were talking about with Damon Wilson, he would make allusions to his homosexuality.
So he would pull like a bunny with a scarf out of a top hat?
I mean, he would just like start sucking dicks sometimes.
On camera.
Right, just like little illusions like that.
Oh my gosh. This show is... And that was scripted?
We'll never know. No, but he would give good. Obviously, this was a time period where being openly homosexual wasn't welcome. I guess you would say.
You'd be
Not-
shown the
It
door.
would be uncommon, but I think certainly in the Hollywood community, at least, it was known that he was kind of a Charles Nelson Riley situation we talked about on Match Game. He was kind of a well-known homosexual, but it wasn't. But you still didn't say it.
Yeah, you couldn't say, I'm a well-known homosexual.
Like it was back in the time where they would call you a poof or something like that.
A poof?
Yes, that was a.
A poof.
You never heard that?
I think I have, but it's more of the gastrointestinal related when I've heard poof.
You thinking poop?
No, like a fart. or a
Oh,
poof.
okay. Wow. But
So the phrase "I have a poof in my pants" is way different in the 70s versus like nowadays.
I guess so. Yeah. So,
Okay.
like for example, he was given the question, what does it mean when you say that somebody has the gift of tongues?
Uh-oh.
And he said, I wouldn't tell the grand jury. Why would I tell you?
So he got in trouble?
For sucking dick on TV.
Oh my gosh.
This is not a gay joke at all, but one of them, they said, when a man falls off of a boat,
Yeah.
you yell "man overboard."
Mm-hmm.
What do you do if a woman falls off? What do you yell if a woman falls off the boat? And he said, "Full speed ahead."
Oh no.
Uh,
Because when a woman's off board, then there's just him and a man.
oh, so you think it was just his opportunity to be alone, for gay stuff?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it was just a funny little misogynist joke.
I guess we'll
because
never know.
as a gay man, he was still a cis white male, so he was still pretty evil,
Right.
and misogynistic. But he was, like I said, quite successful, very funny, very well liked in his role as the Center Square.
Center Square.
Went off the air in 1980 on NBC. Did another year in syndication after that. So it went off the air finally in 1981. Over 3,000 episodes. We only have had access to, I think, 130 of them in rerun.
What happened? They retaped over it again?
Yeah, NBC retaped over a lot of it. And there's speculation that much more than 130 episodes still exist, but due to things like political correctness and things like that, they don't air a lot of them. But the Game Show Network, and I think now Buzzer, airs them. Which my problem with it was this show was not on Amazon Prime, which has a lot of Buzzer shows. There's no way to watch this on the internet.
It's not on the internet.
Aside from YouTube. There's a lot of it on YouTube.
Which is illegal.
And I don't endorse it, but I do it.
You do endorse
Just
it.
like
You
cocaine.
endorse it by watching it.
But not verbally.
Silence is violence, and you're not being silent because you're
loud.
constantly watching it.
Fine. So, yeah, don't watch it on YouTube then. Don't watch it anywhere. Watch it on Buzzer, which is on Antenna TV, I think.
Antenna TV?
Yeah, like
Is this another thing I have to
broadcast?
pay for?
No.
Well, okay. How much is the subscription?
No, it's nothing. You just have an antenna. And
It's just a one-time payment of the antenna?
yeah. You have an antenna.
And then
it
what
picks
monthly
stuff
after
up.
that?
Zero. Just nothing.
Well,
It just comes to you.
I don't believe you.
Okay. I've got one. It brings me stuff. Like the local channels. And
Like
Buzzer.
Buzzer? Yeah.
And Daystar, which is a weird Christian channel.
Daystar?
It's called Daystar. Yeah. I don't know. It's some weird Christian thing.
So it's like the
It's like
opposite
channel
of Death
2
Star.
that I get. No, that would be Night Star. Life Star. The opposite of Daystar is Night Star. Anyway, it went off air then in 1983. I think we alluded to this before. It came back as part of the Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour, in which two contestants would compete against each other in a round of Match Game. Then the winner would go up against the returning champion in Hollywood Squares. And now Match Game was 2 rows of 3, you'll remember. So they'd add 3 new celebrities are added in for this portion.
Okay.
And then they would play Hollywood Squares. And then the winner of that would go to the super match, the final part of Match Game.
Yeah.
But they could use any of these 9 people at this point in time. And they did it. So Gene Rayburn, who was the Match Game host, came back to host the Match Game portion. Peter Marshall did not come back to host the Hollywood Squares portion. A guy named John Bauman did. And what they would do is during the Match Game portion, John Bauman would be the lower left celebrity in Match Game. And during Hollywood Squares, Gene Rayburn would be the lower left square on Hollywood Squares.
Okay.
So they would do a little switcheroo in the middle of the
switcheroo.
show. And then again, the winner would return for the Hollywood Squares portion the next day while 2 new contestants fought it out in the Match Game portion to advance to that. So that only lasted for 1 season. I think it was too complicated for people.
It's a lot of things going on.
There's a lot of stuff happening. It's weird. But then there was a version hosted by a guy named John Davidson from 86 to 89. Joan Rivers was the center square
Nice.
in that one. We mentioned she was a semi-regular in parts of the original version. She was center square for this one. And then the version that you referenced earlier,
I referenced it.
produced by Whoopi Goldberg.
She produced it?
She produced it. 1998 to 2004 Hollywood Squares. Sometimes stylized as H squared, like the little 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's how sometimes they showed it.
Was the show called H squared?
No. They would just show it like that.
Wow.
To be hip. Cool. This was 98 to 2004. Remember, extreme things were very cool at this point in time.
That's true.
If you could get like an X in your name, it would sell much better. Surge. Remember Surge?
I had X's in my AOL name.
What was it?
I don't remember, but I remember there were X's in it.
There were definitely X's. I don't remember anything else about it, but it obviously had X's. This version was hosted by Tom Bergeron. He's a fairly inoffensive dude.
And his actual name was Gerald LaVagina.
Hey, ba-dum-bing. Went with Tom Bergeron. He's hosted America's Funniest Home Videos as well, or AFV as it's called now.
Oh, after
Bob Saget.
After Saget?
Yeah, I think Tom Bergeron took over that role from him. Also hosted Hollywood Squares. Whoopi Goldberg was the center square for most of this run of the show. These are going to be more people that we've heard of on this version.
Good.
Because we were alive when these people were
Amen, dude.
famous.
Amen.
Like Gilbert Gottfried was a regular. I don't know if that's very good. No, worse somehow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Gilbert Gottfried was the Aflac
He was the
duck.
Aflac duck until he said a lot of horrible, offensive things about the Japanese tsunami, which were hilarious. And he got fired because apparently Affleck's largest market was Japan.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I had no idea. He probably didn't either.
No.
He probably also didn't care.
He's just
'cause
a
he made like
comedian.
9/11 jokes
He's
right
a
after
comedian,
9/11.
my dude.
Yes, Gilbert Gottfried, Martin Mull, Caroline Ray, both from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh my gosh.
Coincidentally, Brad Garrett, Bobcat Gold.
Waith?
I always struggle. Yes, Bobcat Goldthwait.
Goldthwait?
Jeffrey Tambor, who was also the announcer of the show for a
Nice.
period of it. Kathy Griffin. So there were a decent amount of people that you're familiar with, late 90s, early 2000s type of celebrity. I don't know,
Sure.
probably like a Andy Milonakis or a Tom Green. My bum is on the
I
square.
haven't thought about Andy Milonakis in a very long time.
I think about him every night before I go to sleep.
Really?
Yeah. He got famous from Tom Green, didn't he? Weren't they sort of somehow related?
Maybe.
Tom Green got famous from having ball cancer.
Because he live streamed his surgery.
Did he?
Yeah.
I remember he had a song about touching your balls.
To make sure that
sure.
they didn't have lumps in them.
Yeah. Do you
I always have 2 lumps in my balls.
do you do that? Do you check your balls
I mean, I
to see if you have
guess
testicular cancer?
unconsciously.
Unconsciously, like but you think to the
Like
point
in the
where
shower, I have to lift them up to get in my grundle. What is it called?
your perineum.
My perineum. I have to get my perineum clean, so I have to
Yeah.
lift my balls to get to the perineums.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I do.
But do you think that's enough to notice?
No, I think it. Yeah, it depends on how large the growth is. If
How
I
hard
feel,
are you supposed to squeeze them?
If I feel, as hard as you can.
What if they pop?
Well, that's how you check. You know what a mammogram is when they flatten the boobs? That's what you have to do with your balls.
Holy
You have to
shit!
pancake
I have to get
them.
a vice to just squeeze it,
Right.
wrench it all the way down.
Correct.
Jesus.
And
never
then you
mind.
feel, and
I
if
think I'd rather have the.
there's
ball
any
cancer.
lumps after that,
I don't know if I'd be able to identify what I'm supposed to be looking for.
just any lump that's not your 2 regular lumps.
I guess I just don't spend enough time knowing what it regularly feels like to notice if it changed too much.
Do you remember when it was cool to have your hands down your pants in the 90s?
I don't
Like
know.
baseball players would do it when they were practicing, I think, is when I first saw it.
I don't know if they would have it down. They would just be adjusting a lot.
Okay.
I feel like
I thought they did to keep their hands warm during cold spurts.
I don't know. Maybe I don't.
Did you not watch a lot of baseball
No, I
practices?
watched a lot of. Yeah, I watched. I don't know if I watched a lot of baseball practices. No, but I watched a lot of baseball. So what? Did you have your hands down your pants a lot because you thought it was cool?
I didn't.
Is what
No,
you're
'cause
saying?
I didn't because I thought it was strange to me.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like there was some sort of at least like a tuck in, like a not necessarily all the way down grabbing like your junk, but like half of your hand tucked in. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Kind
I
of.
feel like there was something around like the Jenko jean time period, and I don't know. I could be completely.
That was it. That's
Making that
that.
up.
No kids won't understand that you. There was a time where you couldn't put stuff in your pockets because you would not be able to retrieve them until you took your pants off.
Your pockets were at your knees,
Yeah, things would just go away.
and your pants were a garbage can on each leg.
You never had. You don't even know you
I
were cool
know-
enough to have
okay,
Jinkos.
Okay, well, first of all, Jenko jeans were ridiculous. Second of
Jinko
all,
jeans were cool.
my mom would not let me have those. My mommy
Oh,
would not
yeah.
approve of those.
Jinko jeans were kind of expensive, if I remember correctly.
They were expensive. They were ridiculous looking. They were worn by like the people that would wear a 9 Inch Nails T-shirt along with it. They would be
It was
worn by
also-
people that had a wallet chain.
Well, it was mainly for the skater groups.
Skaters and goths, I feel like.
I don't think goths had
Maybe not
Jinkos.
goths, but
It was similar to what a goth would wear with like a big baggy pant, but Jinko
it
was
was,
more,
yeah, it was a little grungier.
yeah.
It was Jinkos.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
And you missed out.
And no, it's probably coming back now. So
Are
don't
they?
worry. I don't know that Jinkos
Come
necessarily
on,
are coming back, but
Jenko.
no, it's not. Like skinny jeans are out.
They're out already.
Now you gotta wear
I
loose
feel like skinny
jeans.
jeans didn't last that long.
You're supposed to wear loose, like the TikTok generation.
Mm-hmm.
They're wearing loose jeans now.
Boot cut.
They've got boot cut. They've got just bad looks. Just
You think they're bad, but you're also not a cool TikToker.
yeah.
Oh wow, Jinko
See?
still has a website.
Of course it does. It's coming back. I'm telling you. And I'm like,
That's not a Jinko.
that's not thick enough. But you know who Jenko people listen to was Insane Clown Posse. You'd wear some Jenkos at an Insane Clown Posse event.
Jinko jeans
the
are
gathering of the
$150,
Of course they are.
and so apparently every single one is marked down from $300.
Which is absurd.
There's no way they were that expensive.
Did you have some?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, 'cause
I
you
was
had-
a skater.
Because your mom didn't care about you.
Because I was a skater, and if you didn't have at least one pair of Jinko jeans, you couldn't be labeled
You
a
weren't
skater.
allowed. You weren't allowed to skate. You weren't allowed to wear
Correct.
the soaps.
The soaps were the most dangerous things in the world.
You had them though.
Of course. Of course I had a pair of soaps.
Did you have a pair of Heelys?
No. Heelys were cool when I was too old.
I agree, but I would also enjoy a pair of Heelys right now, I think.
I think that we're
I
too
think
old to
for-
be experimenting
for
with
most
wheels in
of-
our shoes.
For most of my adult life, I've wanted a pair of Heelys.
Then go get, I think they're like $70.
Yeah, that sounds expensive.
That's not that bad. You spent $100 on your shoes that are made from birds or whatever.
No, they're not made from birds. They're made from trees or.
And guess what's in
Bamboo.
trees? Birds. You're telling me
They just take the tree with birds in it, just put it through a blender.
you're telling me they cleared out every single insect and bird from that tree before they made your shoes from it.
I'm sorry, haven't you seen what's the movie I'm thinking of? With,
The Birds,
with Robin
Alfred
Williams
Hitchcock.
as the bat.
As the Jack?
No, the one that Avatar is a ripoff of.
Oh, lilies. Something lily.
No, I don't think it's.
Yes,
Lilies.
it is. I know it is.
I don't
Fern
know.
Gully.
Fern Gully. Yeah. See, no, not lilies.
Lily rhymes with gully.
No, if you force it, maybe.
Ly. They both end in ly. Isn't that how things rhyme?
No. So you think that gully rhymes with inadvertently?
Yeah. Because it ends in the
No.
same.
You gotta go with like a bully. Bully is closer to gully. Then I'll allow it.
It's an imperfect rhyme. Still a rhyme,
Imperfect.
baby.
I don't fuck around with imperfect stuff. So, this show, Whoopi Goldberg, like I said, she was center square for a while. She, after a little bit, left the show, stopped producing it, brought in some new producers. That meant they needed a new center square. Toyed around a little bit, ended up landing on...
Joy Behar.
No, I think you're thinking of The View.
Oh, okay.
Which actually, Caroline Rhea left the show to do the Caroline Rhea show because... So you remember Rosie O'Donnell? She had the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Mm-hmm.
She left in the early 2000s, and her hand-picked successor was Caroline Rhea,
Okay.
which was kind of surprising to me because I don't remember that aspect of... I remember Rosie O'Donnell's show ending. I don't remember the aspect of Caroline Rhea replacing her because I also think of them on very different levels of celebrity. I think of Rosie O'Donnell as a much bigger celebrity than Caroline Rhea is.
But I think they're both strong, loud comedian women.
Right.
I think that they match up in that aspect.
So Caroline Rhea left the show to do that, so she couldn't have been the new center square. So they decided to go with Martin Mull himself. Martin Mull.
Martin Mull?
Martin Mull, yes.
Mull or Mull?
Mull, you know.
Oh, this guy's great.
Martin
He's
Mull.
so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, exactly. Gene Parmesan in Arrested Development.
Yeah.
The principal on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. He's great. He's done a lot of the Christopher Guest stuff, I believe.
That's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
So he became the center square after Whoopi left the show. And then it was canceled in 2004 out of syndication. It's done.
Wow.
It doesn't exist anymore. The thing about this show...
The thing about this show...
And shows like it are, again, my complaint is, like... So now we've got some revivals of these celebrity-led game shows. We've had a match game revival. We've had a pyramid revival. We've had To Tell the Truth. These celebrity shows. But for some reason now, celebrities are so busy and important, I guess, that they can do like 2 episodes a year.
Yeah.
Whereas as recently as 20 years ago, Martin Mull and Caroline Rhea and Gilbert Gottfried and Jeffrey Tambor and Brad Garrett were able to do weeks at a time on this show that aired every single day of the week. And, you know, certainly in the 60s, that was super common in the 60s and 70s that these celebrities would be on these shows nonstop all the time. I wonder why we can't or don't have an interest in doing that anymore now. Like, it's like, you know, Joel McHale. He can be on, you know, 3 episodes of To Tell the Truth every year, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if it has anything to do with celebrities being too expensive now. Because streaming is a thing. So now when they negotiate contracts, they're like, well, you're going to use my content, what I bring to the show, for a decade now.
Instead of it just airing that one time for that one half hour.
Like,
and nobody ever seeing it again,
I mean, it's like, it's the same reason that I didn't realize this, but we watched Dawson's Creek a couple months ago.
And it didn't have the right music in it?
Didn't have the opening music.
Wait, what?
Didn't have the theme music that Dawson's Creek was aired with.
What is it? Sixpence None the Richer? Is that who did
I
that?
don't know, but it wasn't. I don't want to wait
Yeah, I think that's what
for
it is.
our life to be over.
How could you have Dawson's Creek without the Dawson's Creek theme song?
You turn on Dawson's Creek and you go, this doesn't sound right.
So what is it? A weird fake song with over
It's
the same
a
credit
different
sequence?
song. It's the same credit sequence. It's a different song. And it's because the contract or whatever ran out and they can't use those songs anymore.
Did you watch the whole series?
No, because the first episode was a dude trying to fuck his teacher.
I was saying, doesn't Pacey fuck his teacher in the first episode?
He doesn't, but he is trying very hard to. And at the end, like throughout the whole episode, the teacher's like not into it, but not offended. And at the very end, she does the little smirk because he's still trying really hard. Yeah, she gives him the smirk, and you as the audience go, they're gonna have sex,
right?
And this is a funny, goofy storyline.
I wish this was not on basic cable.
Yeah, you didn't pay your antenna subscription fee, so you got cut off.
That's a shame. I just watched D2 The Mighty Ducks the other night. Speaking of Joshua Jackson, he's got a really reduced role in that one compared to the first one, which I didn't remember until rewatching it now.
Dude, he was busy trying to bang his teacher.
I think he was a little younger still in this than that. Maybe he was in real life.
He was really young in the Mighty Ducks movies.
But yeah, he had a really he went from being like the star of the team in the first one to being like, hey coach, I'll sit out. I just want to be a coach anyway. I'm like, what the fuck? You were the best player. What happened? Yeah, so Joshua Jackson, I think he would be the center square if you did Hollywood Squares right now, probably. Who would be your
center square?
What would be your name the 9 celebrities if Hollywood Squares came out with a revival today and they did it right? None of this Joel McHale appears on 2 episodes a year bullshit. Yeah. If we've got a solid line of recurring people that are on a lot of episodes, okay, who are your 9 celebrities? You want me to do 9? I want you to do 9 and tell me who's the center square.
Okay. Doing Terry Crews.
Oh, he'd be a good one. I like it.
Doing Adam Sandler.
Wow. Okay.
I'm doing kind of big. Andy Samberg.
Okay.
I'm doing.
It's getting a little Jewy, but go on. Isn't Terry Crews?
I don't know. Is he?
I don't think
so. Let's see. I'm doing. What's her name?
Wow, I don't remember the female's name.
She played Chucky. She was in the Chucky revival.
Aubrey Plaza?
That's what I used.
She did not play Chucky. Just to
no, she did not. No. Aubrey Plaza. That's 4.
Yep.
I'm doing. Is Joan Rivers alive?
No,
she's not.
She died recently.
Oh, I'm doing Betty White.
Okay.
I'm doing.
She's been on a lot of these type of shows.
Tony Hale.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do. This cannot be interesting.
What do you mean? I think people are interested. I think they want to hear who your final 3 celebrities are going to be.
I'm just trying to think of people who would be really fun and gregarious. I mean, most celebrities, but I'm also doing. I'm doing Carrot Top.
Okay, wow, we're bringing back Carrot Top.
He's got to have props, though. He's got to have funny props. The chairman of the board
himself.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm doing
Norm
McDonald.
Okay.
Who would just never give a real answer, would hate being on the show.
But he would know the answer to every single question.
Of course.
Okay, you got 1 left, and I don't know if this person's going to be your center square that you're going to name, or one of these people that you've already named.
Oh, I know who it's going to be.
Who?
James Vanderbeek.
James Vanderbeek, and he's
because I think he's great on Is it Match Game?
Yeah, I think he's
been on a couple.
Game. Yeah. So he's gonna be your center square?
No. No way.
Which one of these people is gonna be your center square? Then? Because you've named 9. One of them has to be center square.
I think out of respect for her career, I'm going Betty White.
Betty White. All right.
Now you're like 9.
How long is this episode going to be?
I don't know. We're at 58 minutes.
No, I like your 9. Mm-hmm. I like you've got a good variety of people in there. I would say some of yours are probably like too big that wouldn't do it.
Oh, for sure. But I wasn't taking that into account.
I know.
Yeah, for sure. But Adam Samberg, Adam Sandler.
Right.
Terry Crews probably wouldn't do it.
Terry Crews might have a shot. I think some of these, at least on a recurring basis, like I think Betty White as center square is a good one. I think she'd be down.
Yeah, I think she would. I think she's great.
Should we call her?
Yeah.
right now, live on the show. Hey, Betty, I love that naked playing card of yours. But yeah, that's Hollywood Squares. That's your version of Hollywood Squares.
That's my version.
How would you make Hollywood Squares, aside from giving me the 9 celebrities that you gave me?
Yes.
How would you make Hollywood Squares better?
This is how I would make it better. I would have no more questions, and I would just have them play tic-tac-toe.
So they'd just say XO, XO, X. No celebrities?
No celebrities.
Okay. So it's just tic-tac-toe.
Where it's just two normies playing tic-tac-toe.
Okay. That's better, you think?
I would hook up...
Just to be clear.
I would hook up a heartbeat monitor
Okay.
and display heartbeats for the celebrities when they're answering
so
questions.
So you could use
They're
it as like a lie
lying, maybe.
detector?
Yeah.
All right.
And instead of agree, disagree as the response that the normies are allowed to say, I would replace it with smarty pants or dum-dum face.
Okay. So they would just say, they'd say, all right, here's the answer that Andy Samberg just gave.
Yep.
Is he a smarty pants or a dum-dum face?
Correct.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see how that wouldn't make it more confusing and would make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your make it betters?
I mean, my only make it better is to just not have any advanced briefing and have them all be on top of the improvisational game. Come up with a good joke on the spot, as I expect you to. Dance for me, monkey.
Right.
And
Monkey's game.
if you don't know the answer, sorry, you're dumb. Just give a fake answer that you maybe sound confident in.
Right.
Because that's what acting is.
Lying.
Lying. Giving fake answers that you are confident in.
Yeah.
Like, Tom Hanks didn't know how to get a spaceship back from around the moon
Right.
to Earth, but I believed that he did because he gave me some fake answers that he was confident in.
And although I do think his performance was good, I would have rather seen the writer perform that
Of course.
and win the award.
Obviously.
Because it came from their brain, so they have a strong emotional attachment to the words that they wrote.
Right. I would have rather have seen actual Jim Levitt redo the whole thing again. He was one of the Apollo 13 real life astronauts.
Okay. Not Buzz Aldrin.
No, he was not in Apollo 13. He was in Apollo 11.
Got it.
Yeah, I think that's what I want. I want what did Clint Eastwood did that with that one weird movie he did? The one about the train.
Yeah. The guys.
With the terrorists on the train.
Right.
And he got the guys that actually stopped them
Right.
to play themselves actually stopping the terrorists in the movies. I didn't see that, did you?
No.
No, it looked like it would be bad because those guys aren't actors.
I heard it wasn't great. And
What was it called? 310 to Yuma?
310 to Yuma?
No, that's a Western. I'm joking.
Okay.
But it was something like that. It was like 1440 to Paris or something.
Oh yeah, I think Paris was in it.
Like that. But yeah, I think that's the only way to do movies from now on is the people. Like I watched Total Recall last night.
Whoa.
What I would have preferred was if instead of me watching Total Recall, somebody just implanted the memory of me watching Total Recall into my brain. And then I could remember watching it with not having had to actually do it.
Was it good?
Yeah, I think it holds up.
Really?
I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger is Arnold Schwarzenegger, so you have to accept that aspect of it.
True.
You have to accept the aspect of that for some reason a guy named Doug Quaid talks like this. Like, he plays these movies where he just has the most American name ever, but he still has this thick Austrian accent. My wife pointed that out last night, so credit to you, Erica, before you listen to this and say, I'm the one who said that.
Well, I mean, it's funny how you had the first time you mentioned her was when you were talking about your future wife.
Why'd you have to bring
And
that
now
back
finally
up right
at the end of the episode, you should throw a little bit of props.
I'm giving her
in
some
there.
credit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying when she's done with me, which is probably sooner than later, I will have to downgrade to Ava Green. Movie star Ava Green.
Ava Green, okay.
She's my backup plan is what I'm saying.
It's a strong backup plan.
Well, I mean, shoot for the moon, you'll end up amongst the stars, as they say.
I cannot find this movie.
Just Clint Eastwood train movie. How hard is you're so bad at Googling.
Movie, Clint Eastwood.
Look, the 1517 to Paris. It just popped up right there.
It had actors in it.
No, see, you're over searching.
Actors were veterans.
No, they weren't veterans. They were just guys on a train.
Didn't get good reviews. What say you, Google?
All right, let's see what Google says. The 1517 to Paris, yep. Number one results.
First one that came. Oh, man.
Yeah, because all you had to type was Clint Eastwood train, and it would have given you that.
I don't think so. I had a detailed Google research.
Except it says
23%.
Yeah, not great. The acting performances, they said, weren't great. All right, so that's Hollywood Squares. We're a couple of Hollywood squares, if you know what I'm saying. Until next time, check us out on Instagram at Come On Down Show. Email us if you want to. Why would you email?
Find it on your smartphone, which is kind of almost a square.
There's an update to the Apple Podcast app that probably makes our podcast harder to find.
What happened?
I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
Oh, no.
You don't subscribe anymore. You follow. Oh, because we can charge people now. That's right. Should we start charging people for listening?
Don't think so.
Should we pay them for listening?
Apple Podcast update. Why did it?
All right. Until next time,
worst?
Come on down.
Paid subscription with antenna. 1570 to Paris.